Say you are presenting the monthly budget report in the board meeting. Cost by department don't add up. IT look overspent, HR under, and some numbers are even negative. Finance and executives start questioning the totals. The pivot, the slicer, dashboard, none of it broke on its own. The real problem started way back at the data entry. Inconsistent department entries like IT, information technology. If only drop downs had been set up from the start, this chaos could have been avoided. Here's your report. Pivot tables have repeated entries of department names. Slicers have some category repeated multiple times, and some subtotals are even negative. The root cause to all lies in the free entries in data. And fix is never here, it's always back at the data entry. I'm going to start with your version of data messy, inconsistent, and perfectly normal. Then we will fix the inputs using data validation and drop downs, one column at a time, and watch everything downstream stabilize. This dataset reports costing entries for different departments over a whole year. It's roughly 5,000 rows, so manually correcting it isn't feasible. So let's start with the most dangerous column, dates, because wrong dates don't throw errors. They quietly push the numbers into wrong month. To add data validation, select the date column. In the top menu, go to data, data validation, and here under the allow section, select date and then choose between. Here you can set start and end dates to the required period. For our case, we will go with 1st Jan 2025 to 31st December and press OK. Now, the cell only allows date within that range and shows an error for anything outside. So if you try entering a value outside this range and press enter, you see it has given an error. But this error description doesn't tell anything productive. User is never going to understand what's wrong with entry. So you can set a custom error message by editing the data validation rules again. So if you go back to the data section by selecting this column, in the third section, error alert, you can set title and message. Set title to something like date outside range, and for message, enter a date between these two dates. Here, the alert type is stop. It completely blocks the wrong values. But there are other options also, which we will cover later on. Now, if you apply it, if any error happens, the message tells you exactly what's wrong. You can also set input message from the second tab in the data validation. It shows instructions to the user the moment you select the cell to type. But this can be annoying for users, so choose carefully. So our next column is department. Most of our report was failing due to repeated department entries with different variations. This is where Excel drop-down list matters the most. Select the whole column and in the data validation, choose list as validation type. You can directly type the values separated by commas like 1, 2, 3. And if you check in the column, the values are available as a list. But if your list is lengthy, like in our case, it's better to reference a cell range where your master list exists. So you can create a separate master list with all the department values. Once the dropdown is implemented, user can select values. But keep in mind, user can still type random values instead of selecting from the dropdown, but only to be blocked by error alert. That's why customizing the error message matters, just like we did earlier. This simple dropdown solves most of the problem, but it has one issue. If you add a new department in the master list later on, it won't appear in the dropdowns. To make it truly dynamic, convert the master list into a table by selecting and pressing Ctrl T. Name it something recognizable like department underscore master. Then create a named range referencing to this table using name manager in the formulas tab. So first select the table, then click create from selection and select top row. Now if you open the name manager, you will see a range created with the same name as the table header. This name is accessible anywhere in the workbook. So now go back to the data validation, clear the existing source value and press F3 or function and F3 key. A list will appear with all the named ranges saved in this workbook. You select department underscore master from here. Now the list is dynamic. If you add a new value to the master list, let's say test2, and check, it will appear automatically in the drop down list. That's the benefit of named ranges. The benefit of named ranges is that even if you move this table to another sheet, the drop down still works. This is how professionals store their master list, often on a hidden or locked sheet to ensure the data integrity. The next column is cost center. You might expect me to lock this down next. In the real system, this would be a dependent dropdown where allowed values change based upon the department selected. But that's an advanced setup. Today we are staying focused. Good systems are built in layers. If you want a dedicated video on dependent dropdowns, let me know in the comments. We will leave the next couple of columns as they are. Not every column needs a dropdown. Good Excel system protect but must be protected and stay flexible everywhere else. Next is amount. Amounts are critical. A typo or negative value can mislead reports, like the negative cost we saw earlier. Here, you can set validation to a whole number or decimal and choose greater than or equal to option. Then set the minimum value to 0. This ensures only positive numbers are allowed. You can explore other options depending upon your used case and set the custom alerts if needed. And the last column is approval status. Here, you can set a drop-down list to pending, approved or rejected. Instead of a stop alert, you can set the error type to a warning with a little message like, "Are you sure about this status?" This allows user to proceed even if they type something different, but with awareness. This is how you balance data control with flexibility. So now that our rules are in place, invalid data is prevented at the entry stage. If I enter some sample data and refresh the reports, you will see everything aligns. I know we are intentionally entering the clean data here, but just to show what your file will look once the rules are implemented. Same formulas, same pivot, same dashboard. The difference wasn't the Excel magic, it was disciplined inputs. So when drop-downs are implemented at the input stage, your key tools like lookups, pivot tables, slicers stop breaking. Drop-downs are just one part of building reliable tools in the Excel. They connect cleanly to named ranges, dynamic arrays, structured tables, dependent drop-downs, dashboards. Mastering these connections keep your reports accurate and sets the stage for advanced techniques that we will explore next. And if you want to learn dependent drop-downs, click the link on the screen and we will see you there.